Okay, welcome back. This next chapter is about using volumes. My name is Candace Savnan. I'm the lead instructor for this course. Let's talk a little bit about volumes. This is the licensing information. So in this chapter, we're going to interact with the Docker container. We're going to recognize the purpose of volumes and then hopefully mount a volume to a Docker container we're using. So in this activity, you're going to add a volume to the image. Why? Because in the last chapter, you probably found out that you didn't have your files that you needed attached to your container, right? Often when we're doing stuff, we need to attach files to our container because we're going to, especially if you're doing something with informatics or whatever, you're going to want to take that file and probably do something with it, some kind of manipulation. And if your container can't access it, then what are you doing? So volumes are one way that we can add a file on there, okay? And so let's talk about this, okay? We mentioned Docker pull is when we take an image from the internet and we pull it down. It's on our computer, okay? Now we have an image on our computer. And remember that an image is a snapshot of an environment that's easily shareable. Now Docker run, that's where we take an image and we run it with a container. Now we could do stuff, right? This is an environment we can now run stuff and do things in. And now there's a next piece of the equation we're adding here. We want to attach a volume. And a volume is a folder that can be accessed by the container. So I generally think of volumes as kind of like a portal, right? You have your computer, which is isolated from your container, but you can kind of open up a portal that allows you to kind of link the two, okay? And when you close your container, guess what? The portal is also closed. All right. So the way we do this in Docker Desktop is you're going to specify it kind of like this. And again, the instructions will lay this out, but really what this means is you're going to have to specify your file path from your computer and your file path on the container. You can do that from Docker Desktop or you could do that from command line, whichever you feel comfortable with. But the point is this is kind of telling, it's like an address for one, colon, and then another address. And that's what's going to be your portal or your volume is really what I should be calling it. Here's what it looks like for command line is you'd say Docker run, and then it doesn't have to be a print working directory command. It could be something else, but whatever the file path is, you got to specify it in a way that the computer knows what you're talking about, and then a colon in between, and then this is where we want it to go on the container. And if you didn't know where it was going to show up on the container, you might want to just run the container and see kind of what your file system looks like, because that can vary, and then figure that out. And then this is just the image name is that we're gonna make into a container. And this would be the same basically for Podman as well. All right. So from there, you'd run your container. All right. And now we're going to find we have a new error. I'm going to leave you to think about what this means, but I'll leave you with a hint that remember that we talked about that our files and our software are separated from our computer. So not everything that's on our computer is installed on our image. So does our container have all the same software that our computer has? Okay? Leaving you with that question.